Well, good evening, and I think we're on time. Yes, I just looked down at the clock, and it's 8:00. It hasn't turned to 8:01 yet, so I'm proud of myself. We struggle from time to time, and actually tonight Steve came on rather early, and we all told him, you're the first one that's ever been here early, so that's really great. So I'm glad he got on a little early. It's great to be here. As all you know, we have Steve Carmichael tonight as the guest. Really glad to have him. I got a few. I want to go real quick. This is my sticker board, and I've left it out quite a few times. And look, my hand, I did that unintentionally, but look, it matches Charles's. I got a few new stickers. I think one is from Shane over here, and then I know Donald saw his the other day, and I'm trying to remember which one. Oh, Summers Woodworking, which is over here. He sent me one. I'll just go down the list. I got Sterling, Woodcrafts, Miter Mike's Wood Shop, mine, Wooden Stuff, C. French, Chris Cute, First Cut, Dan, Ingewood, Timber Manufacturing, which is Braxton, Woodmark, Mark Christopher, Merksky Custom Woodworking, Old Cranky. Oh, that's another new one, I think. Old Cranky Wood Shop, I think Chris's. KK Make, Summers Woodworking, Scroll or Sherman Scroll Works. I think that's a new one too. Donald Vlogs Flies Wood Shop, a simple design of Ocala. That is Sean Lane. Yeah, I'll get it right. Wooden Visions, which is Charles, Shane's Hobby Shop, and then my new one y'all can't hardly see down here at the bottom. So for those of you that I owe stickers to who have sent me and asked me, I know Chris O'Hearn has been waiting patiently. I just put in an order Friday, I think it was. They should be here somewhere between now and the 18th of March. So as soon as I get, these are my new ones down here. As soon as I get that, I will be sending out stickers. So. But if you send me a sticker, it will put it on this board, and you get basically free advertisement whenever the show goes. So I put it up there every time we have a show. So Mr. Carmichael, I need a sticker. So let's go down the line and introduce ourselves and tell us where we can find you. And we're going to start on my left, but somebody ain't here right now, so we'll start with Chris.
Hey, Chris O'Hearn here at the Old Cranky Workshop. You don't find me on Facebook under the Old Cranky Workshop or YouTube under Chris the Wheeler. It's St. Patrick's Day, so you'll find me at the local pub. So, happy St. Patrick's Month, boys.
Yeah, happy St. Patrick's Day. I'm also, as a lot of you may not know, I'm also Irish. My last name is Clarity, and my father and uncle and a couple of others changed it. It used to be O'Clarity. So, and next in line is Mr. Dave Gatton.
Thank you, Russ. My name's Dave Gatton. You can find me on YouTube and Facebook under Dave Gatton.
Great. Donald?
First of all, let me just say I'm probably got some Irish in me along with everything else. I'm Donald Matthews. My YouTube channel is Donald Vlogs Wood Shop. My website's redneckknowhow.com, and all my Instagram and Twitter is on my YouTube channel.
Cool. And then Mr. John. He's been away. He had been away for a while. He's joined us the last 2 or 3 shows. It's good to have him back. John Schaffner.
Why, thank you, Mr. O'Clarity.
O'Clarity.
Well, it really is good to be back. I missed all you guys. You can find me basically under my name on Facebook and here. That's about it right now.
Cool. And then Mr. Patrick.
Hi, I'm Patrick from Patrick's Workshop. You can find me on my YouTube channel on Patrick's Workshop. I'm also on social media under the same name.
And Russ, the other Russ. I won't call you the evil Russ because you're not evil.
I'm the good Russ. You can find me under my name, Russ Meadows, on Facebook, and also my Facebook page, Rusty Nails with a Z, Woodshop.
Great. And then Mr. Tommy G.
Yeah, I'm Tommy Gonzalez, and you can find me on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all under Tommy G Workshop.
Great. And then somebody's back. Charles.
Yeah, that was fast. I am Charles Daring. I have woodenvisions.com, and I believe all my social media is on there under the links. Thanks for having me.
Cool. And then the guest for tonight, Mr. Steve Carmichael.
Hi there. Hi, everybody. Thanks for having me on, Russ.
Cool. How you doing?
All right. I'm Steve from the CarmichaelWorkshop.com, and that's where you can find links to all my other stuff. Thanks to everybody who's watching and over in the chat, too. Hey, everybody.
It's great to have you on. I've been trying to, or I say trying, I had been wanting to have you on for a while, and finally I got around and when I sent you the link, so I was hoping you would appear. So I think you're one of the woodworkers that I know a lot of wives like you, so you're one of the woodworkers that everybody loves for some reason.
That's what I've heard. I don't know why, but
well, that's great. So, well, the show's basically going to turn over to you. What do you have for us tonight? What are we going to do?
All right. Well, I just finished Birdhouse. It's this saw squawk back here that looks like a table saw. And we had our woodworking club here in my local town. We had a contest last weekend. So I've got birdhouses on the mind. So somebody did a presentation at our club and went over a bunch of information about making birdhouses. And I figured since spring is coming up, it's a good time to get out to the shop and do a simple weekend project and just make a birdhouse. And I've got some samples of ones I've created, but what you want to do before you start is probably Google birdhouse designs and stuff like that and take a look at what's out there. Some of the things you need to be aware of are, find out what kind of birds you have in your local area, and then design or make the birdhouse that's suitable for them. Because some birds, they like to nest inside a box. Some of them like to nest on the ground. Some of them like to nest on a ledge out in the open. Like here we have, I think, barn swallows that build like a mud nest against the wall under our front porch, and it makes a huge mess. But they come back every year. So, if you're going to build a birdhouse, just make sure you know what kind of birds you have and design the house that's suitable for them. Like some of the birds like certain size holes. For example, here in Georgia we have a lot of eastern bluebirds, and they like a 1 1/4 inch hole for some reason. I don't know why.
We have that same thing here. Ours are blue jays, I think it is.
Yeah.
And they have a specific size hole for the birdhouse, and if you don't make it that specific size, they don't come.
That's right. Yeah, and you have to put the birdhouse in a certain location, certain height off the ground. And some birds are territorial, so they don't like birdhouses to be too close together. Because if there's birds in one house and the other one's too close, no birds will use that other house. So. But yeah, if you put up a birdhouse and you never see any birds, you just need to move it to a different location and see if that helps. But yeah, so the birdhouses I've made for contests, and I put a lot of time into decorating them and stuff, so they never go outside.
Oh, come on.
But the ones I put outside, I make out of fence boards that you can pick up for like $5 or $2 even in Home Depot or Lowe's or something. But it's really easy to make those houses. But these, I like to do different things, like the one I just did that looks like a table saw. Probably the thing that I noticed first off when I thought about it was that the hole for the where you usually tilt your saw blade, that could double as the hole for the birds. So I made it 1.25 wide so the birds could get in there. And then the rest of it is just decoration to make it like a table saw. And I like the name Saw Squawk.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I got a question for you. What gives you the, I mean, where do you come up with the designs? It's just you're sitting around and bing, light bulb, and I'm going to make a saw stop or a saw squawk, or bing, I'm going to make a drum set. I mean, where do you get the designs? Where?
Yeah, I don't know. It just pops into my head. I'll think of something, and then I guess my first thing I start thinking about is what has like a box or a cabinet or something that's got a hole in it usually. And that's where kind of the bass drum in a drum kit usually has a hole in the front. And the saw stop here, the table saw usually has a hole here where the thing is. So, if you ever have to build a birdhouse, just kind of keep an eye out and see if you can find something that usually has a hole in a particular location. But like I made a bird feeder that was looked like a saloon with bar stools, and it had like this bar where the bird seed comes out. And I just thought it would be kind of funny to watch the birds, sit up at this bar and eat bird seed. But I thought it'd be kind of humorous whenever I make a birdhouse. I think of what would be funny to watch a bird fly into it. So, yeah.
We got a question over there from YouTube, and this has nothing to do with the birdhouses, but
yeah, that's cool.
Steve, are you still doing screen printing T-shirts?
I do. Occasionally, I print my own little shirts here that I wear in my videos and stuff. I have a bigger screen for my bigger T-shirts, but I don't make many screens now. You have to use emulsion chemical to make the screens. It's a light-sensitive thing, and I ran out of that chemical. I just haven't ordered anymore. So, but yeah, the screen printing is pretty easy. It's something I learned in 7th grade, and it kind of stuck with me over these years. It's fun to do. You can make your own T-shirts. You can really get into it, spend a lot of money, but I have video on that, and for the basic supplies to do your own shirt, you can do it for about $60. You can get everything you need, and that way you could probably make about 20 different screens and do 20 different types of shirt designs. So, yeah, that's a lot of fun. If you have any interest in that, I'd suggest you try it. It's pretty cool.
Cool. I want to see. Can you bring the drum set down a little closer where we can see it?
Yeah. Lost my ear. My ear fell off. Yeah, this was, for this one, I just happened to look at my bass drum on my drum kit that's over there. And noticed it had a hole in it, and I thought, hey, I could make a drum set birdhouse, and that's how that came about. But,
that's cool.
Yeah, this was if I turn it around, just for fun, I put some fake birds in there behind some plexiglass.
That is fun.
Yeah. And
cool.
you can kind of see how I made this one. It's a little bit different in that I made, what is that, an octagon, where I glued 8 boards together in an octagon shape, and then I turned it like this, and then cut the round shape out on the bandsaw.
Wow.
So when I did it, I had to plan ahead, and this is the max capacity of my bandsaw, this height. So I cut all the boards to that length so that I knew I could cut it on my bandsaw.
What size is that?
I think it's about 8 inches. Yeah, 8 inches across.
That's cool.
And then this is just a solid block that I glued up, and then the rest is just painting it and adding some trim pieces. And, but I enjoy that part of it too. decorating it, painting it, and all that good stuff.
Yeah, that's one of the things I've always admired about you, and watching some of your woodworking videos and stuff that you do is sometimes you come up with some of the off-the-wall things to make. Who would have thought making a birdhouse drum out of a drum set? You know, so it's really cool. It's really fascinating because it's very entertaining. I mean, you do a project, it's really cool, but yet it's entertaining at the same time.
Yeah, well, thanks. You know, a lot of these are for contests, and that it really, you know, whenever you're going to enter a contest, it encourages you to really up your game and try to outdo everybody else, you know, and do something people haven't seen before. So,
was that R2D2 also a birdhouse?
Yeah.
Wow.
That one.
No, I like that one.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I've got. I think for all of these, I've got the cutting templates and all that stuff on my website for free. If anybody wants to make one of these, you can just download the PDFs, and because you know I like to make the stuff, you know, to make people smile and enjoy looking at it, and also encourage people to go out and make their own crazy, goofy stuff, you know.
And what's cool about, even when it's a fun project like that, you don't just slap them together. You can tell you took a lot of time on these.
Yeah, this one took a lot of time to paint all these little squares and stuff, and the little dome comes off. And I need to paint the inside of it. That's something I never finished. I'm sure all of you have some unfinished project. But
No.
This was the same method as the drum set one, you know, where I glued it
cool.
together.
You didn't put any birds in that one.
No birds. I've actually, this is where I hid my candy stash before. So
I was going to say, after the contest is over, you use that one for a cookie jar.
Yeah, that's right. Now everybody knows this is where I keep my candy, so it's all gone.
Steve, is that one of the ones you have the plans for on your site? That R2D2?
Yeah. I think all of these are on there. All the cutting templates, which I get a lot of questions on how I make my cutting templates, and I actually use a program. It's Microsoft Visio. It's VISIO, which is used a lot for business flow charts and organization charts and stuff like that. But the canvas, I guess, that you draw on is kind of like graph paper, and it's got rulers on the side, so you can kind of count, okay, these 4 squares are 1 inch, and you can draw shapes to scale and change the shape of the shapes and make curves and stuff. So I find that really easy. It's a lot like drawing on graph paper, basically. But so that's how I do most of my cutting templates. And I really only do enough in there to be able to finish the project. I don't go with and do SketchUp or 3D kind of modeling or anything. I really just draw enough so I can cut the parts out and then put it together.
Have you ever tried to use any other type of program? Now, for me, when I do my all my scroll saw patterns, I use Corel Draw, and you can have it print across massive pages, 8.5 by 11. So I could actually have a project 3 foot by 4 foot. It'd just be in multiple 8.5 by 11 pieces. Do you ever tried anything like that?
He was out. He got kicked out, so you're gonna have to replay that.
Oh.
Yeah, he got knocked out. Oh no, he's back.
Now he has no sound.
Uh-oh.
If it ain't Darth Vader, it's muted.
It's all because he cut off R2D2's head.
You may have to go out and come back in, Steve, which is fine.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Is that better?
Back. There you go.
Okay. I don't sound like a robot.
No. Did you hear what I said about my question?
You asked if I had used any other software for drawing templates.
Yeah, like I use Corel Draw, for instance. Have you ever tried anything else?
I do have Illustrator that I've tried to use, and I don't know. It's okay. I just can't get the hang of it using all the little handles and stuff to make curves and all that. But I like Visio because it like snaps to the grid, and you know exactly, you know, you're working on a grid where you can see where, you know, how wide 1 inch is, and you can, you know, make sure things are symmetrical and stuff like that. So I guess I have like a mechanical engineering kind of mind. I've tried SketchUp, and I just can't get the hang of using all the tools and drawing with it. I guess I just need to practice with it. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree with you there. Corel Draw, now you can set it up with a grid and snap to grid and all that kind of stuff too, but I tried SketchUp myself, and I just found it when they do it, or you watch a video of somebody doing it, it's like, oh man, that's so easy. But when you try to do it yourself, it's like, nope.
Yeah. I've got Inkscape as well, which I use that for a lot of the Xcarve stuff that I do. But I haven't actually drawn things using Inkscape. It's mainly importing stuff.
Oh, okay, because Inkscape and Corel Draw are a lot alike. Inkscape is like a basic Corel Draw. It does real good, don't get me wrong. I started out with it years ago before I moved up to Corel Draw. It's just that Corel Draw has a lot more bells and whistles, so to speak.
Yeah. One other birdhouse I've got back here, if you can see it. Can you see that?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's invisible almost.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one I call my invisible birdhouse. It's my
Right, you have that. I didn't even see it sitting there.
It's my most controversial one.
How the bird's gonna find it?
And they fly right into it.
Yeah. I got a lot of comments on this one that I'm gonna kill birds and they're gonna crash into it and all the birds are gonna die.
Is that one of the ones you leave outside or no?
We're not gonna have any birds anymore in the world. But what'd you say?
Is that one of the ones you leave outside?
I did put it outside for a while, but it wasn't really. It was like late spring, early summer, and I don't think the birds were that active, you know, nesting. So, but I think I might put it out there and see what happens. I don't really want to kill a bird, but
I got a feeling that birds will see the reflection and not fly right into it.
Yeah, I read about that, and one thing I did up here with the entry hole, I painted it black, mainly to hide that part of it, so it still looks kind of invisible. But on the bottom part down here, I kind of angled it down, so that when a bird approaches it, that they wouldn't see the reflection, they would just see like the ground, you know, since it's angled down. That was my thought there, but yeah.
Don't look down.
You got some birds that are attracted to shiny things, so.
Yeah, I don't know. I've seen bird hit the window before, so yeah. But after I made it, I went outside and put it up on the tree, and I was taking pictures of it, and I came back inside and went back out a couple hours later, and I couldn't see it. I was like, well, did it fall off the tree? So I walked out there, and it was still hanging on the tree where I put it. So that was cool. It really looked invisible. So,
if you got a bird that's territorial, he might want to go fight with his reflection.
Yeah.
I got very creative design.
All kind of comments about birds going to fight with themselves or whatever.
Do you ever get any comments from people about where's your perch?
Yeah. And actually, somebody commented on this saw squawk one where I had the little rotating handle. They thought a bird was going to land on it and then slip and fly off and crash on the ground. But in our class last week, they were saying that birds don't really need a perch. That it's really just for looks, and it actually allows a way for predators to get in. So.
That little house one I did for the summer woodworking contest, I caught pure heck about it, and I was like, the rules I read the year before said no perch, and two, you do understand I'm a redneck, and if they're sitting there on that perch, they're back. Well, I'm thinking dinner.
Y'all are absolutely correct. I joined the Lakeland Woodworking Club, which is Lakeland's right next, the next town next to me, and we had the Woodworking Club built a bunch of owl boxes to give away to the not the Audubon, I can't remember the society, but they go around and put these owl boxes up just for our owls around here in Florida, and that's one of the things that he did a little presentation about the owl boxes. None of them have perches, and I did not know that until that night of that the club meeting when he described that. But most all birds do not require or need perches. Their claws are hard, very strong enough to hold them up against. Now, if you was to make a birdhouse so slick out of melamine or something like that, naturally they can't grab a hold of it. But if you make it just out of regular wood, their claws on their feet are strong enough to grab a hold of that wood and stay attached to it without any problem.
Yeah, the ones I've built out of fence boards, I didn't put a perch on them, and I can see that from our dinner table. So, like when we sit down at dinner, I can look out the window and see it, and birds just fly straight into that hole. They don't, have to land on a perch or anything. So, none of my houses outside have one, and I usually get birds in just about every house I've got out there. I've probably got 4 or 5 out there, I think. So, Russ, you've got quite a birdhouse there in the background.
Yeah.
Can you show us a little bit about that one?
Sure. This is. I'm glad you mentioned that, by the way, because by you mentioning it, it takes it off of me, because everybody on here is going to go, "Oh my God, here goes Russ and his birdhouse."
Yeah, that wasn't planned at all, was it, Russ?
I have to say, that's quite impressive, especially all the decoration and stuff that you put on it. So I know that took a lot of time.
Yes, thank you. This is the birdhouse that I entered into the Summers Woodworking Birdhouse competition and won last year. So it's an award-winning birdhouse.
All right, congratulations.
So yeah, but I don't know. When I saw a lot of people's birdhouses, and I love yours too, I decided to go in another direction, more Tudor house, so how do you want to call it, English Tudor or whatever kind of type of a house, and that's what led me into that direction to build this. And a lot of people, if you haven't noticed, there's a birdhouse on the birdhouse, so it's a mini birdhouse. So, but
now,
yeah, I had a lot of.
Is it divided? Are those two holes two different?
Actually, I'll show it off real quick. This is the front. It got me a little American flag. This is all cedar shingles. I cut this out of a solid board, took it onto my table saw. I have a real nice blade that I can cut really, really thin, and ripped it into like 1-inch pieces, and then probably about 14 inches long, 16, something like that. And then once I got about 6 or 8 of them, then I randomly chopped them up into different sizes and just threw them in a box, so that when I was building it, I just reach in the box and started pulling one. If I come to the end, I would just, if it was hanging over, I just cut it to whatever I needed. So, and then yes, as you get around to the back, this thing hasn't been open in so long. Holy crap! I can't get it open.
Get the bird
it's stuck.
Oh, you shouldn't tried that before the show, man.
Yeah, because that's
I
live,
wasn't
right?
planning on having it out here. It's literally.
Oh, don't say you didn't plan this.
Call the fire department, buddy.
This is your lesson about wood movement for the night.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's the paint, because whenever I put it together. Hold on just one second.
Break out the saw.
For the record, I told Russ to bring out his birdhouse so he could show it to us.
Yeah. You got to bring out the saw squawk to cut it open.
Oh, I'm sorry, mine's occupied too.
Very nice.
Jamie at JP Woodwork said he has a house that looks exactly like that near him.
I just want to know how he got so much experience with that crowbar and breaking into houses.
He's a firefighter, remember?
That's right.
Oh, that's 30 years as a fireman.
Yep.
Oh, and another little birdhouse on the back, and then I actually put a trash can back there too.
Yeah, it's the details that count, man. They make a
Yep.
huge difference. Yeah,
All about the details.
that's right.
Yeah, well,
I love the look of that thing.
The one that blew them all the way is the smoking chimney.
Oh, that's how you won.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I had never. I built birdhouses before in my life, but I mean, nothing for a contest or anything. So I was actually kind of surprised. I was happy the way it came out, but I was shocked when I entered it and it won. I was like, "Holy crap! That's the first time I've ever won anything." So
yeah, that's great. Well deserved.
Hopefully the contest happens again this year. I feel like entering.
Yeah.
Yeah, this year we're gonna have to build a Roman Coliseum or something.
Any of you got any questions for Steve?
I have a question for Steve.
Sure.
Steve, you still do the YouTube thing just part-time, correct?
Yeah, it's actually.
You still have a daytime job?
Yeah, I work in. I'm an IT business analyst at a printing and publishing company that does real estate magazines and a real estate website where we advertise homes that are for sale. And that's my Monday through Friday, 8 to 5 job.
Yeah,
and then,
I was just wondering if you had a daytime job that helped, enhance your creativity in the shop.
Yeah. And really, when I get home, we have dinner, the kids do their homework, and, I do the family thing, and then it's really not until 9 or 10 o'clock at night when I can get out here and start making something and shooting a video. I can do it on weekends, too, so, yeah, it's really just hobby, part-time thing.
Well, that people's dragging him to late night hangouts, and he's trying to stay awake.
Yeah, staying up till 2 or 3 in the morning, late night.
Damn those guys.
I'd like to give a real quick shout out to my friend over there in the chat, Steve French of Wooden Stuff. He just posted. He says that he did make 3 owl boxes for the owls for the. If you could post over there, if you remember, Steve, what was I know it wasn't the Audubon. I don't think it was the Audubon Society. It was something else, but it might have been the Audubon Society. I'm getting old. I forget a lot. But Steve made 3 owl boxes for that also. Actually, we had, I want to say 50, 60 boxes the club made for them. But it was the Lakeland Woodworkers Club. Actually, Steve French has become a friend of mine. He got me involved in the Lakeland Woodworkers Club, and he also, I found out that he lives less than 15 minutes from me.
Huh.
So every once in a while, pretty cool. We have lunch every once in a while. So just a shout out to Steve.
Yeah, Steve's another good guy out there, Steve French.
Yeah, who else is out there? I see Lewis is in the house. He's in Temp 2006.
Yep. Know What Mom Knows, Donna Presley, Shane's Hobby Shop.
Yes, Shane and Shelley. Robert Evans. Hi, Robert.
Yeah, Robert's out there. Guys, if you have some questions, Steve's actually watching the chat too, so ask away.
That's right.
Ask away.
Multitasking.
And that's what I try to tell people. If you see me looking that way, I know I say this all the time, but it's not that I'm being rude, as I have another laptop over here set up so I can watch the chat. So
I see Miter Mike over there. JP.
JP Woodworks.
Yeah. I got JP's logo on my wall back here. Can you see that?
Oh yeah. Now, did you do that intentionally, or was it already there?
I already had it there, sort of, and he pointed out, and I was like, "Oh yeah, it looks just like your logo." It was very close, so I changed it to make it a little more like it. So that's pretty funny. But a lot of this stuff on this wall back here were like my dad's and my grandfather's old tools and stuff. Well, except for the paddle. But a lot of this just stays up there, And
I've got a question.
Bits I use. Yeah.
What got you into woodworking?
Oh, well, when I was a kid, my dad was a mechanical engineer who worked for Westinghouse Elevator Company. And he had a lot of tools at home. He did welding, he did woodworking, mechanical drawing, all that kind of stuff. I've got a book that he had in school where he did is a whole book of isometric drawings of different just parts, like metal parts that he had designed. But so that's pretty cool. But he always had tools around, and when I was a kid, I started off using handsaw, and then he let me move up to using a jigsaw at one point, and then he was at work, and I was out in the shop, and I noticed the bandsaw over there. So I went over there and turned that thing on. It's kind of scary at first. So as soon as I used that bandsaw, that became my favorite tool. So, and it still is, because you can just cut pretty much any shape and curves and get creative with it. So, but from that point, I was just making things like I used to make ramps that I could go over on my bicycle, and different stuff like that, and coat racks and wall shelf units and picture frames. And then it was about 1993, I bought a cordless drill, a circular saw, and I think I got a table saw, and that kind of stuff. And then I got into building some tables and cabinets and furniture and stuff for the house. And then I stopped for a while, and then fast forward to 2012 when I came upon Steve Ramsey and Matt Vanderlist and Mark Spagnolo, all those guys that have been doing it a long time. I've discovered their videos, and that's when I was like, well, that was like fun. So I just started recording on camera, and then they came out with the Whirligig Wars contest. And at the last minute, like 3 days before the deadline, I made that KISS Whirligig thing.
Oh yeah, I remember that. That was cool.
Yeah, I entered that at the last minute and ended up winning that contest. So that was that really gave me a real boost in wanting to do videos. So from that point, I just started making videos and just kept going. But the one thing about making videos, I have to say, it really forces you to finish projects. Because before, I always had a lot of unfinished projects sitting around that I dreaded going back to. So now that problem's pretty much gone.
Somebody asked, do you ever plan on doing any jig videos? I see you use them occasionally. Just wondering if it's something you use.
Yeah, I've got a jig to cut the splines, in my picture frames, miters and stuff. I've got I made the 45-degree miter sled that Steve Ramsey's got with the arrow looking thing on it. I want to do a box joint jig, but there are so many videos on that stuff, and they're probably a lot better than I could do. So I don't know how I could add anything to what's already out there, but if I think of something, I will definitely try.
I find that amazing when you say that there are a lot of jigs out there, because if you look at the line of YouTubers that we have out there now, and I'm new too, so I haven't been doing this very long, a little over a year. It's very hard. I'm not going to say duplicate somebody, but it's very hard not to have something similar to somebody, because with the list of YouTubers doing woodworking, unless you come up with something really unique or fantastic, everybody's done it. Don't you find that too, Steve?
Yeah, and that's part of the reason you see me creating all this weird, goofy stuff, is because I like to do things that people haven't seen before and try to make it interesting, and just try to be creative with it. That's where I have the most fun, is when I'm coming up with something that I've never made before, and I usually Google it to see if anyone else has done it before. And if not, if I can't find it out there anywhere, then I know I'm kind of onto something that everybody might like to see. So
it went by before, and I can't find it now, but I don't remember exactly. Somebody saw a picture of you and your wife, and they want to know how long you've been married.
let's see, it'll be 22 years this year. So yeah, we got married in 1994.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's great.
yeah,
That's a long time. That's good because
yeah,
you don't hear of marriages lasting that long, unfortunately.
yeah. We've
Well,
got
it's good.
3 kids.
You're right.
I've got one boy in college, one in high school, and a girl in middle school. So they're growing up.
I was going to say, I never could get one to last 5 years.
And
My second one, I was just about divorced before I got married.
Just to let everybody know, a couple of things. One was Steve French posted over there. Yes, it is the Audubon Society that the boxes were made for. I couldn't remember. So.
See now.
Hey, Steve.
Yeah.
Do you have any CNC projects coming up with your X-Car?
I've actually been getting some orders for paddles, for fraternity paddles, which are really interesting because I have to cut out the Greek letters out of the inside of the paddle. So I've been doing those, and I did a video on that. I think I did it on the scroll saw, a fraternity paddle. And so I've been using the X-Carve to do that. It's great for that. It's much more accurate than I can do on this old 13-inch scroll saw. So.
Do you have a fixture set up where you cut the paddle blanks out and then just set it in there, or do you just set it up for each one?
No, I pretty much draw the whole paddle out, and I just cut, they're usually like 24 inches long by like 7 inches wide. So I'll just cut a board blank out of 3/4 inch lumber, usually maple or something, and put it in there and just let the X-Carve cut the whole thing out. I try to do it with an 1/8 inch bit so it goes a little faster. But with that, you get those rounded corners, and I will go back with the scroll saw and kind of sharpen up some of the corners after it cuts it out. So.
That's a pretty cool idea.
Yeah. I've got quite a few paddle customers.
Yeah, we had Steve Good on here. He's a good friend of mine a while back, and we were talking about. We actually asked Dave this: could the CNC do as intricate work as the scroll saw? And I think Dave pretty well said no, not. It can do pretty good, but not quite as good as a scroll saw can do.
Yeah, and you see that in the sharp corners, because really the only way you can get a sharp corner on the CNC is use a real tiny bit, which would take forever. So.
Them paddles give me flashbacks to elementary school, because back then I was a pretty good paddle customer.
They had them when I was in elementary school too. I never felt one, but they had. I know the principal had one. I remember seeing it.
I felt one in high school, and that was not fun. It was not outside of high school, just so you know.
We had one teacher that was the designated paddler, and he had a regular paddle, and then he had one to intimidate everybody with holes drilled inside.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Try to blood on it.
I do want to make another guitar with it though, so I want to design something original guitar to make with the CNC.
A paddle guitar.
Yeah.
Steve, what's your all-time favorite project?
Let's see. I guess it'd have to be the electric guitar I made with the CNC, because first of all, I was new to the CNC machine, and I had never made an electric guitar before with the truss rod and the whole deal. Yeah. So that was like 3 or 4 months of planning and drawing and ordering the parts and making sure what I drew for the machine to cut would work with all of the parts I ordered. It was really, I don't know, it took a lot longer than I thought it was going to, just because I had to get all that. I was learning it first of all, and then I had to make sure all the parts and the wood I cut out would fit together. But other than that, I would have to say that Kiss Whirly gig I made, because that kind of got me into doing the whole YouTube thing. So without that, I'm not sure I would have kept doing videos like I did. So.
Yeah, I gotta thank you for that guitar, because now my nephew wants me to make him a guitar because he saw your video. No, I don't want to make a guitar. But he's 22 and he thinks I'm gonna knock it out in a weekend.
Oh yeah. In that case, it's easier just to buy one you can buy them for like $99, you know. So
that's why I told him, get a job and go buy yourself one.
Yeah, that may not have been a sincere thank you from Chris. Just so you thanks a lot, Steve.
I love the project. I learned a few things, but I know I don't want to go.
I got a feeling they'd like the action on a store-bought guitar a heck of a lot better than anything I could come up with.
Yeah, the one I made, it works pretty well. It's got its little unique features, but it plays well. I was really surprised that once it was all done, I was really surprised that I was able to do it. You know, it seems like such a daunting project with all the accuracies that you have to pay attention to, but it turned out pretty well. I was pleased with that.
You play it often?
No. When I get time to do stuff, I'm usually coming out here cleaning or making a video.
You can play your drum set while you're playing that.
That's right.
Your drum Birdhouse.
I see Dan Inglewood over there's mentioned the sandwich. I've got that.
Yeah, the sandwich you made, that's pretty cool. Now that's the Subway sandwich you made. You entered that into the 2x4 Brian's 2x4 contest, right?
This one I made for our woodworking club here.
Oh, okay.
For that contest, yeah.
Okay, I remember you entered one in the contest. I just couldn't remember which contest it was.
Yeah, it used to be a 2x4. It got a lot darker. It's like all the pieces. I guess I used polyurethane on it, and it darkened up. But
is that a foot long?
You know, that's how I came up with this thing. Is at the time there was the whole fuss about Subway and the 11.5 inch sandwich. Yeah. So that's how I came up with this. I'll make a Subway sandwich, and I think in the video I said something, and yes, it's actually 12 inches long. If you go back and watch that video, at the beginning I'm taking measurements of an actual Subway sandwich. And so, go back and watch that one. You'll see the whole Subway controversy.
You know, a lot of you said that the polyurethane was becoming darker, or it made it darker. A lot of people do not realize that polyurethane, a couple of things about it that I know is that, number one, it causes things to yellow over a period of years.
Yeah.
They kind of claim it didn't because the old varnishes used to yellow real bad, but polyurethane will do it also. And the second thing you're talking about that is, yes, it will not only yellow, but it also will become darker.
Yeah, and I pretty much strictly use lacquer these days because it stays clear so well.
Yeah, that's pretty well what I've gotten. I love this. Krylon makes the
crystal
clear acrylic. Yeah, and I like that really, really well. It works great. It does not yellow. As far as I've had a couple projects now for way over a year, and they haven't yellowed. The problem that I found was, though, is when you put it on just direct wood, no matter what wood you put it on, for some reason the oil in the wood reacts to it and it doesn't want to dry quite well. Yeah, there was now you could use it on steel. You could use it on steel. I painted some projects and then put an extra coat of that crystal clear over the top of it just to make it shinier and for protection. It dried on that, but every time I put it on raw wood, it did not want to cure to dry very well. Something about the oil, and the only thing I could come up with is something in the oil and the wood kept that from doing that.
Yeah, yeah.
But you're right about the lacquer. The lacquer won't yellow.
I've tried using the Danish oil too, and I don't know, that just seems to take forever to dry. I mean, and the smell to go away. I mean, you could put that on something and still smell it after a week. So I don't use that much.
That's weird. I love the smell of Danish oil.
Yeah, I like the smell, but if you're going to give it to somebody, you don't want it smelling. You know.
Well, I was going to say, I like the smell of polyurethane too, and I made, when I went back to get my high school diploma, one of my projects I made was, it was a box, and I gave it to the teacher, and it turns out she had allergies. Oops.
Oops.
I gotta give her credit. She still gave me an A, though.
For those, a couple of people are saying my microwave is done because if you hear that ding, sorry, it's my daughter is texting me. My son-in-law had a death in his family this past week, and they went to Jacksonville, Florida, for the funeral, and I just wanted her to make sure that she texted me and make sure she was all right and arrived safely and all that kind of stuff. So the annoying ding is my daughter letting me know that they're safe and sound.
That's good.
That's a good thing.
Fries are done.
My hometown.
Somebody said something about I got to go back here because they're typing in here so quick. About your, I wish I could find it. If y'all are capable of, somebody asked about the After 8 project you did.
Oh yeah, I made a. My mother-in-law had this little. It was like a little silver-plated serving thing that used to have a glass dish in it, and it was about that big. It wasn't very big at all. And I did a video. I called the video "What is it?" because I didn't know what it was. And it looks kind of like something you'd put a stick of butter in, like a butter server kind of thing. And she told me she had gotten it in England, and it was actually they sell these boxes of After 8 mints. They're like after dinner mints, like these chocolate peppermint things. And they would actually put the box of mints into the silver-plated server and bring it out when they had tea with their visitors, you know. So she asked me to make something for it, so I made a walnut box with a lid, and on the lid I did kind of a British flag, a Union Jack on top, so it looks like it's kind of carved. And during that video I had a box of those After 8 mints, and the more the video goes on, the more empty wrappers you start seeing on my workbench and everywhere. So by the time the video ends, I've gone through this whole box of mints and eaten them all, and there's just empty wrappers all over the place.
That was the question. They wanted to know how sick were you after eating all that chocolate.
Well, through the magic of TV, I only ate a few of them, and the rest of the mints were still in the box. I just took the wrappers off and threw them all over the place. Just for the video. Sorry to give that away, but if you haven't seen that video, it's called "What Is It?" and look that one up. It's pretty funny to see the wrappers flying all over the place.
Somebody really likes your Me Temp 2006 said one of his favorite projects was your jig hole lamp, or I guess he means your Craig jig lamp that you did, Shade.
Yeah, I've still got that. It's a triangle-shaped lamp that I drilled I used the pocket hole jig, but drilled the holes all the way through the board so the light would shine out through. And that's just one of those things where I got the idea. You know, everybody's trying to hide their pocket holes, so I figured why not feature them as an art piece. So that was another fun one. Yeah.
Well, guys, we're winding down to the end. Real quick, we're going to pressure you on this, Steve. We do a little thing. It's called Woodshop Confessions at the end. We want to know what is the dumbest, boneheaded thing that you've probably ever done in your shop that after you did it, you went like, why the heck did I do that?
Well, I'm always cutting things too short, so that's one thing I do. One thing that happened on this last project, this actually table saw project, ironically enough, is I was using my gripper to cut a board on the table saw. I didn't have my splitters, my insert with the splitters on it, and I let go of the. I lifted up the gripper before the board had passed the back of the blade, and it kicked back and got me right in the stomach.
Oh no!
It wasn't hard or bad, but
Definitely a bonehead move.
Yeah, it kind of stung, but that's one thing about the grippers and the grip blocks that you got to watch out for. Is, you're pushing the board through. You just need to make sure you exit out the back of the blade. Because I see, I know I do it. Is I will be cutting a board with the gripper, and then I will take the gripper and drag the board around the back of the blade. So you got to be really careful about that because it can catch the back of the blade and sling it back at you. But that's the most recent.
If it don't hurt you, it'll sure enough wake you up.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to bless you now so that you don't do that anymore.
Well, thanks. Yeah, I'm going to have my splitters installed.
Well, guys, anybody, any more questions off the panel for Steve? Before we wrap, I'll get it out in a second. Wrap this up.
I've been talking to him for so long, I don't know what to ask.
Hey, Steve, do you know for sure what days you're going to be at the Woodworking show in Atlanta?
Yeah, I'm going to be there all weekend, the whole time, because I'll be in the video woodworkers booth. It's April 1st, 2nd, 3rd. And then also our Gwinnett Woodworkers Club, we have a booth there every year, so I'm going to be spending some time over there as well. And I usually have a table set up with a lot of the projects over in the Gwinnett Woodworkers booth. That's our local club.
If I come to see, I'll get to see the saw squawk in person.
Yeah, I'll bring that and some of this other stuff, and yeah, it'll all be there. So we're looking forward to seeing you and anyone else who's going to make it.
Yeah, I'm going to be there, but I have to tell you one thing, Steve. You're not going to get a kiss. They're only for Charles.
So when is the show exactly?
April 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. It's here in Atlanta. So
awesome.
I'm hoping to be there.
Everybody, come out and see the Woodworkers booth.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to arrive. Actually, I'm going to come up on the 31st and then be there until Sunday, and then leave sometime Sunday afternoon.
All right. Yep. Yeah, videowoodworkers.com. If you go to that website, you can see a list of the people that are going to be in that booth. And I know a lot of other YouTube content creators are going to be there as well, and we'll all be taking up probably the whole aisle, blocking the aisle with everybody that's going to be there. So it should be a lot of fun.
And y'all, Steve Carmichael really needs some more subscribers. Not enough people are noticing him. So please go to it.
Thanks, Charles. Yeah.
Gotta help a little bit.
Yeah, I hear at the beginning of the year here I got off to a slow start, and I don't know. I did a video on January 1st, and I don't think I did another one until, I guess February. But yeah, I try to do a video every 2 weeks or so as I have time. So I'm slowly getting back into the grind here. So watch for more coming soon.
I think that happens with a lot of us. I know that through the Christmas holidays I didn't do any, and then after the first of the year, once you break that routine, it seems like it's hard to get back into that routine.
Yeah, it sure is. Yeah, but once you start getting back into it, it starts to feel good, and you're having fun. And yeah.
Well, if there is no more questions off the panel, I think we'll wrap this up. I really appreciate it, Steve. Thank you for being on tonight. It was great.
Thanks for having me on the show. And are you going to sing us out of here, Russ?
Oh, yeah, I'll sing it. That comes into just a second.
All right.
Thanks to everybody who was on the over in YouTube in the chat section. I know we had Donna Presley's over there, Mike Woodshop, Wacky Woods, all of y'all, JP Woodworking, Noah Mom knows, Shane Cole, he was over there. Steve French, my friend, Al Fort's over there, all you guys, thank you for being over there. It's y'all over there watching us that makes this all worthwhile and makes this possible, trust me. That's the reason I'm back here every week, because I enjoy doing this, and I love seeing y'all over in the chat saying things. So thank you very much. And then thank you to Charles, Chris, Dave, Donald, John, Patrick, Russ, and Tommy G. And again, thank you, Steve.
Thanks
But
for
we're going
having
to
me,
wrap it
folks.
up tonight. So we're going to wrap it up with this. Just give me sawdust, lots of sawdust all around me and everywhere. I like it flying all around my shop and even in my beard and hair. God bless and good night.